Julian Jordan, CEO of Neptune Communications, Inc., took a moment to share his thoughts about the origins of the regional satellite communications network and its role in providing resilient communications solutions for the Caribbean.
The idea for Neptune began soon after the disaster of 9/11. I began thinking about how is this disaster going to affect the Caribbean? And when it became clear that one of the follow-ups out of the disaster was going to be a new nationwide public safety communications network in the US, I quickly thought that worldwide what was likely to happen was that there was going to be a need for a new type of service provider who focuses strictly and solely on the communications needs of public safety community and public safety responders, first responders. And I thought very soon after that, let's do that in the Caribbean. That's where I was from, that's where I was born, that's where I felt would be a very good place to start for a whole bunch of reasons, including the fact that we have good underlying infrastructure here. We have a number of very big public safety communications and now public health communications issues that needed secure networking capabilities to resolve. So that was how Neptune came to be, and I formed the company to start our operations several years ago. So happy now that we've finally got to the point where we're actually moving the discussion forward, and that was the origin of Neptune.
Why was the name Neptune chosen?
The name Neptune came to me as I was thinking about what are the things that connect the Caribbean together physically. And I decided that the idea of using the Caribbean Sea, which is what physically connects us, our islands and our mainland countries, even though we don't think of it that way, the sea is really what connects us together physically. And I wanted to make sure that the communications network that was going to connect us together was going to be something that also was as reliable, as deep, as consistent, and as strong as the sea that keeps us together. And I began thinking about who controls the sea. King Neptune historically controls the sea, the Roman god of the sea. And I thought maybe what we'll do is we'll call the company Neptune. And so now we're Neptune Communications.
Mr. Jordan, what is Neptune's mission?
The mission of the company is to bring secure and resilient communication services to the Caribbean public safety community, primarily. We believe at the highest level that those agencies of government whose responsibility it is to manage the critical infrastructure of the country are going to need secure, resilient communication systems in order to do their jobs effectively and safely in the future. Right now, they don't have access to those communication services as we see them, and that's why we founded the company. We also believe that companies in this part of the world will need resilient, reliable communication services upon which they can grow their businesses. These economies in this part of the world need to be able to develop digital economies within what used to be the old economies of the Caribbean. The digital economy is the way of the future, and we're going to be one of the companies that's going to empower other companies to do that as we lay down secure information communication systems for other Caribbean companies to benefit from. COVID-19 as a pandemic has upturned our lives in all sorts of bad ways. One of the things it has done, it has shed light on how dependent we are on communication systems to stay connected to one another. And those parts of the economy and companies within the economy who need information, real-time information, to do their jobs effectively must have reliable communication systems available to them. And if you don't, our kids can't be educated online from home. Our public health workers can't get access to information they need to deal with the pandemic. Our fire and police services can't communicate with themselves. Interagency communications isn't as effective if we don't have the internet access. It's basically one of the new requirements of modern day life. We think about things like electricity, water, shelter to survive as a human species. Now I would argue that internet connectivity is mission critical to advancing our way, making our way in the world as a Caribbean people. And that's a key part of why we've taken that on as our mission. And we're very excited about what the future holds for us in this regard.
That was Julian Jordan, CEO of Neptune Communications, Inc. Thank you for getting to know us.